Hello, MCU fans! Today we're going to break down everything we learned from the D23 Doomsday sizzle reel. Of course, it was shown at Destination D23, held at the Walt Disney World Resort. And while there was no footage from the movie, there's still an awful lot we can learn. So let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, we have an August contest running all month long. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, and you could win a book or a steelbook. Best of luck! And we have a membership option with lots of cool perks, so you might check it out in case you're interested. Plus, hang around to the end of the video, and we'll talk about the Doomsday Countdown rewatch on the Discord. Alright, so after a standard Marvel intro that we see at the beginning of the movies and shows, we move into several quotes from lots of different MCU entries. So, from Thor Love and Thunder, we have him saying, "We could pull together the greatest team ever." From Brave New World, we have Sam saying, "Look, if we can't see the good in each other, we've already lost the fight." Then we have Shuri from Wakanda Forever saying, "Now is our time to strike." We have Scott from Quantumania saying, "Will I be there when the Avengers need me?" Absolutely. We have Yelena from the Thunderbolts saying, "Yeah, we stick together from now on." We have Torres from Brave New World talking to Sam and saying, "That pressure, that responsibility you talk about, I want that too." Then we have Red Guardian from the Thunderbolts saying, "This has the makings of a team that can bring light from the darkness." And I love that look on Walker's face. He was so funny throughout the entire movie. Dude rocks. All right, so then we have Loki from Season 2, Episode 4 saying, "Raising things to the ground is easy. Trying to fix what's broken is hard." Love that quote. Then we have Professor X from X2, X-Men United, saying, "There are forces in this world, both mutant and human alike, who believe that a war is coming." And then we have Cyclops from the first X-Men movie actually talking to Professor X when he was so badly injured from using Cerebro, and he says, "And if anything happens, I'll take care of them." So that is a really interesting quote. Does this imply maybe something's going to happen to Professor X in the movie and Cyclops has to lead? I mean, let's face it, Professor X has died like 4 times on screen so far, so I guess a 5th time could be in order. But maybe he just gets injured. Either way, it looks like Cyclops might be leading the team, and maybe we'll finally get a live action To Me, My X-Men. Oh man, give me that, please, 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 please. All right, so then we get Reed from the Fantastic Four movie saying, "Today we are your defenders. We will protect you." And then finally, we end with Shuri from Wakanda Forever as she shouts out, "Yibambe, Yibambe," which of course means hold fast, hold strong. All right, so let's look at the 9 movies or shows that were used in the footage. So there's only one show, and that would be Loki, obviously one of the most important shows of the entire multiverse saga. And speaking of, every movie or show comes from the multiverse saga, or of course, in the case of the X-Men movies, from the multiverse itself. You know, those came out obviously in the 2000s. But yeah, everything is multiverse saga focused. So maybe this is their way of saying these are the 11 things you definitely should watch before watching Doomsday? That would make sense. I mean, I think this is a good watch list. So maybe they're saying you don't need to watch anything else? So if we look at the 11 heroes that are quoted, they were all characters that were announced during the infamous chair watch, right? And I know I say 11, but you see 12 on there. That's because Shuri, interestingly, was quoted twice. So I don't know if they're saying these are the most important characters that are going to appear in Doomsday. I mean, I kind of doubt it, since Torres in the upper right and Red Guardian in the lower left, I love those characters, but I don't see them necessarily being the most important. Although all the rest of them, those are all very, very key characters. So I guess the question is, are these the most important characters and that's why they were picked? Or perhaps they just had the most important quotes? In fact, if we look for some common themes across the quotes, definitely teamwork comes to mind. I mean, greatest team ever, makings of a team, stick together, responsibility, be there when needed, I'll take care of them, we will protect you, fixing what is broken, finding the good in each other. I mean, obviously at the end of Thunderbolts, there was some conflict in that post-credit scene between the new Avengers and the Avengers, but I think what this is telling us is they are going to come together because they have to meet the challenge before them. And we also see combat, right? Time to strike, war is coming, and Yibambe. So yeah, teamwork, rising to the challenge, and being ready for the war that is coming. And those quotes all come from 5 main teams: the Avengers, the Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, the New Avengers, and the X-Men. And Feige has said these are the most important teams for Doomsday. Although you would argue Loki was in there too. So is Loki going to form his own team, his own multiversal team? Because we saw Sylvie as well. Lots of stuff going on. Very, very exciting. Definitely, though, I think we're going to see the Avengers versus the X-Men. Because remember, Professor X's quote was about a war between humans and mutants. So, man, if we get an epic Avengers versus X-Men throwdown, that's worth the price of admission itself. All right. There's also going to be a lot of multiversal travel. I've mentioned this quote in some previous videos, but the key is Feige himself, when talking about the kitchen at the Baxter Building, says it's got a heck of a lot more people in it in Doomsday. So yeah, they're going to be visiting 828, obviously 10005, the TVA. Oh my goodness, this movie is looking so good, so good. All right, so then after all those quotes, we hear from the Russos and eventually Paul Rudd as well. So first, let's talk about what the Russos said. They said, "Hi, D23 members. This is Joe and Anthony Russo. Right now, we're in London shooting Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday. The movie is, to say the least, a big one for us. It's bigger than anything we have ever done. We're bringing together so many of your favorite heroes to face one of the greatest threats to the MCU." So yeah, that's pretty amazing. For them to say it is bigger than anything they've ever done, I mean, that's bigger than Endgame, right? But then we knew that. This is going to blow Endgame out of the water, I think. Cannot wait. All right, so then Paul Rudd jumps in to interrupt them as though they were about maybe to give spoilers for the movie or something. And he says, "We're surrounded by jaw-dropping sets and some truly incredible talent, many of whom you just saw teased in that great video. Bringing this story to the big screen means the world to us, and we couldn't do it without your support." So it was really nice to get this message from the Russos and Paul Rudd literally while they are filming Doomsday. So let me know your thoughts. What did you take away from this sizzle reel? I mean, yeah, again, no new footage, but still, I think we learned a lot of the themes. They're reinforcing what we're going to be seeing when this movie comes out, and it is looking so good, so good. So let me know your thoughts. You know I love to read and respond to everything. So don't forget, we have the August contest. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook, and there's the membership option in case you're interested in that. And I always love to mention the Discord. Here we are in the watch party section as we're going through all of the MCU to get ready for Doomsday. In fact, I mentioned I would talk more about that. Every day listed here at 7 p.m. Eastern, we watch a different movie or show as we get ready for the December 18th, 2026 release of Doomsday. So we have 2,300 members across the globe, conversations 24/7, and I'll leave a pinned comment so you can join. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, the ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.